Dokkan. Alrighty, welcome back everyone. Honestly, I have no idea how I want to kickstart this vid, but if you guys have been a part of the Dokkan community for like the past day or so, you will know the Golden Week celebration has been a very hot topic for a lot of people for good reason, because the celebration is supposed to happen in a few days from now, and yet so far we still have not gotten any information from the Dokkan development team as far as what we can look forward to seeing. So earlier today, the leakers within the Dokkan community decided to take it upon themselves to basically handle the job that Dokkan has been supposed to be doing for this past week and all that sort of stuff. So today, we're gonna go ahead and talk about what the leaks kind of confirmed, which I'm sure many of you know. Basically, they confirmed that it's going to be probably Universe 6 versus Universe 7 for the Golden Week celebration as far as the theme is concerned. We'll go ahead and talk about that, what that means for different possible Easy A's and Super Easy A's and stuff. There's just a lot of stuff I want to cover today. And also, you'll probably see me bash on Dokkan a bit because Dokkan has been slacking. This is the job that Dokkan needs to be doing. Dokkan is the one that needs to be like hyping us up and getting us amped up for one of the big celebrations in the year, and yet they have not done their job. They have not done anything in that respect, and really, it's been disappointing when you look at what Dokkan has to say. But let's go ahead and talk about this leak first and foremost. So, the first thing that kind of kicked off the day today was this kind of fake post from one of the fake I Seriously accounts. Now, I Seriously, the real I Seriously, is a well-known leaker in the community. Of course, we've seen his leaks in the past, but this is not the real account. So when this account posted Universe 6 versus Universe 7 for like the whole kind of thing, this was when people were like, hey, this must be the confirmation that we are going to be getting this for the Golden Week celebration. People kind of caught on and said, hey, wait a minute, this is not the actual account. But then the real I Seriously came to play, and of course this was one of the thumbnails that was made. You see, of course, Hit looks like it looks like Hit right there, then Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku perhaps, and of course I Seriously, the real one, decides to say, hey, you know what, you won't have made this thumbnail for nothing, which of course means this is basically what we're probably going to be getting for the Golden Week celebration. Now, I do want to say this first and foremost before I go any further. I seriously said this. If you look at the Dokkan official accounts since then, up to like the past week and everything, we still have gotten nothing. We have not gotten a single notice, no links, no images, no gifs, nothing, no producer letters for the Golden Week celebration. The past, posts and everything, one was about the intensifying fight stage, one was about the burst mode and everything, the content for PyCon stuff. Otherwise, we are still in the dark as far as what Dokkan is officially going to say about this whole kind of celebration. So, it is very frustrating. I mean, shout out to Miyato, awesome content creator, of course, but he was saying, of course, Dokkan being uncommunicative. I think I probably botched that saying that, but obviously not saying anything, Dokkan not saying anything to us means leaks are fine. And this, I kind of want to reiterate. I actually reposted this because I will say, I was making content of my own with rankings and stuff for the past few vids, but a lot of people have been anxiously waiting, wondering what are we going to be getting for the Golden Week celebration, because they need it to make content. Obviously, we're trying to keep everything fresh and everything keep up to date, and not knowing what's going to be coming very soon for one of the top celebrations in the year is so annoying. It's so frustrating. So understandably, a lot of people have been waiting, and if Dokkan's not going to do anything, guess what? We're going to have to do it. We're going to have to take matters into our own hands, right? And of course, technically, I Seriously took the matter into his own hands and then basically leaked everything for us, so it is what it is. But, a lot of people were expecting Daima to be the option. A lot of people were saying Saiyan Saga, obviously Universe 6, Universe 7. One of the ideas that was kind of circulating, but kind of on the down low. It really wasn't one of the more amped up ideas. And yet, I think it is a great idea nonetheless. You look at Golden Week now, if you search up Golden Week, of course, you'll see a lot of people kind of coming to this idea, coming to terms with this basically being the focus and everything. Obviously different ideas about what sorts of setups we could see for the different characters and whatnot, pretty much all sorts of different feelings about the Golden Week celebration, what we've seen from the leak and everything. I myself was going crazy on Twitter earlier just talking about all sorts of stuff, but I mean, yeah, different concept, all these different concepts are now being made. It's just a bunch of fun stuff. Watching how excited the Twitter community is, it's actually crazy how excited everyone is on Twitter all of a sudden for the Dokkan community after just a leak. That should say something about how dry it has been in Dokkan as far as new information is concerned. Obviously, we've got new content. We have things like intensifying fights and burst mode. That is new content. I will accept that. But in terms of new information, we have gotten nothing. We have been left in the dark. And the fact that we got something, like a little, hint of knowledge, that's got everyone, just going crazy just all over the place. So that says a lot. But let's go ahead and talk about this. So Universe 6, Universe 7, what does this mean? Of course, I explained how the Golden Week celebration works in my last vid or one of my previous vids, talking about the celebration and everything, predicting what we could see. But the Golden Week celebration is going to have a Part 1 Dual Dokkan Fest and then a Part 2 Yellow Coin LR. Now, the Part 1 Dual Dokkan Fest is obviously going to probably be a variation of Goku and Hit. Now, we don't know exactly what it's going to be. My personal expectation is going to be like a Super Saiyan Blue Goku who can do an active into like Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken, probably Hit, who has an active of his own, to get serious or something, because I think that would be pretty hilarious. But we do know that's probably going to be part 1. The part 2 Yellow Coin LR, there are some different ideas about it. You know, some people are saying Kefla, because Kefla is like, you know, one of the more popular characters, so that can maybe work. Me personally, I've been kind of supporting the idea of LR Beerus and Champa. It's like a really silly kind of idea, but I've been supporting that, so there's different ideas kind of going around. But yeah, you know, obviously with Universe 6, Universe 7, we know it's going to start off with Goku versus Hit, which makes sense, because with Golden Week Celebration, you need your 2 dual Dokkan Fest to be opposites of each other. You need one good guy, one bad guy, so that kind of makes sense there. But yeah, I mean, when you look at the categories for Universe 6, Universe 7, we don't know what the official theme of the celebration is going to be. I mean, the assumption is probably going to be Universe 6, Universe 7, but it could be more broader than that. Maybe it's like Dragon Ball Super, maybe tournament participants in general, kind of like continuing the theme of the month of April. We don't know what the actual theme is going to be. We just know that it's probably going to start off with Goku versus Hit, so maybe Universe 6, Universe 7. But you know, in terms of that coming into the game and everything, with Universe 6, you look at that, a lot of people have been clamoring for, like, you know, an LR hit or like a new hit of some kind of variety. This is the last kind of premier, like, Dokkan Fest hit that we really well remember. And obviously, this hit, if you look at him, he came out back in 2018. So he is very old. We are due for a new hit in that respect. And obviously getting a new hit now from one of Hit's better moments as a character and everything, in terms of like being an antagonist, that's going to be great. So yeah, Universe 6, I think I'm excited to see what's going to happen. I'm sure the new hit is going to lead Universe 6, probably with some other stuff as well. Maybe like, you know, I don't know what other categories Hit technically fits into. Let me go ahead and check this hit out, because looking at Hit, we can see some of the categories. But probably Universe 6, he will lead maybe like tournament participants. If he leads tournament participants, that'll be pretty funny to me, because that tells me that maybe STR Cell could get, you know, moved out of his own team, which would be very disappointing, but also kind of hilarious. I think, you know, something like Accelerated Battle would be pretty good. Maybe Super Bosses, but we'll have to kind of wait and see there. But you know, Universe 6 getting some potential buffs, that is going to be really awesome right there. I actually want to go ahead and point this out right here. So shout out to Misaka right here. So obviously, you know, Misaka has the EZA board and everything that shows all the EZAs that are left to be done. And obviously this is up to date with like the EZAs for PyCon and Janemba being done and everything. What we're still kind of missing though for EZAs, like if you look at like, you know, Dragon Ball Super kind of tournament participants kind of themed, you know, EZAs and stuff, we're missing Frieza, so Frieza could be an option, right? Angel Frieza. We're missing Tech Kill and Cauliflower. We're missing the STR, LR, Goku, and Hit. We're missing characters like them, you know, for kind of like broadening the focus and talking about more like Dragon Ball Super. We are missing characters like, for example, like, you know, Golden Frieza, the resurrection of F Blues right there. You know, Zamasu technically is Dragon Ball Super, but I don't think Zamasu and Vegeta and Trunks are going to fit into this kind of celebration necessarily, but they're still part of Dragon Ball Super, of course, technically. You know, we're still talking about Dragon Ball Super, Gamma 1, Gamma 2, you know, Ultimate Gohan, Orange Piccolo. Some of these characters, like the Gammas and the superhero kind of characters, you know, characters like the Tanabata release timings with the Zamasu and Vegeta and Trunks, I'm almost certain they're not going to get any sort of EZA or any sort of love. But, you know, I am expecting EZAs and support for Tech Kill and Cauliflower, STR, Goku, and Hit. Maybe Frieza, although I think Frieza is probably not going to happen, but he could happen as well. I think there is a small chance that maybe the resurrection of F Blues and Golden Frieza could get something, but I'm not really kind of banking on that. But these other ones I am kind of anticipating in that respect. You know, one person that I think is exciting to look at is going to be Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku. And actually, shout out to Miyato because he had the image right here. But, you know, obviously Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku, if we look at the representatives of Universe 7 as a category, right? You know, Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku, if I can actually find him, he is a very old unit. There he is. So, you know, actually, I think he's the first, is he the first Universe 7 release? That's actually interesting. But yeah, so he came out back in 2016, like the end of 2016 for Global, right? So he is incredibly old, very, very old. I forget who mentioned it. I think the Nappa parody account or whatever on Twitter, I think they mentioned it, but it's been maybe 9 years since like we've gotten any sort of real focus committed to the Universe 6 versus Universe 7 arc with Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku. So to finally get that to come back, that is really awesome in and of itself. But, you know, for me, I will say right now, in terms of what I'm expecting. So, part 1, I am expecting Goku versus Hit. Everyone is expecting Goku versus Hit. I've already said what I think is going to happen. Probably Super Saiyan Blue into Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku. And then probably like a base form Hit who can do an active and become more serious, more powerful maybe. So, I'll probably expect that. Part 2 LR, kind of interesting question because really we don't know what the official theme is going to be for the celebration, so that could change things. If it is strictly Universe 6 versus Universe 7, I mean, Kefla could be an option, but I will say right now, I don't think Kefla should be a part of it because Kefla was not a part of the Universe 6 versus Universe 7 fight. So that's what I would say right there. I think some people are saying, you know, LR Kaba could be an option, though I don't think that's going to be awesome. I think we should get an LR Champa. Maybe LR Beerus and Champa, I don't know, but I think that's probably what I would want to see if we're going to focus on strictly Universe 6 versus Universe 7, because obviously Kefla was not a part of that. Kefla was a part of Tournament of Power, so I would probably kind of want to keep things in that sort of focus. So that's my kind of expectations on the new releases for EZAs. Again, I am kind of banking on the EZAs for maybe LR Goku and Hit, you know, Tech Kill and Caulifla, those types of characters. The Super EZA potentially for Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku, that would be amazing, because Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku, if we talk about his kit, right, this is with his EZA and everything, he is a very bad character because his EZA is so old. But if you look at how his design is working, right, you know, he's able to boost his stats for the first 10 turns from the entry, so that's like a temporary kind of buff right there. And starting from the 9th turn from the start of battle, he does a bit more to his attack boosting and a built-in crit for 1 turn. Those are kind of like how his kit works, but it is kind of like a weird kind of kit that only really is supposed to work, I guess, for like a shorter period of fights. But if they do a Super EZA, which we are due for a Super EZA, we haven't gotten a Super EZA for a long time now, like at least the month of April, if not, I believe the month of March as well. Or actually, no, the month of March, excuse me, we did get a Super EZA with the Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, but since then, going through the Saiyan Day celebration and onward, we have not gotten a Super EZA since then. So we are due for one. If Goku is that Super EZA, he could be insanely good. He really could be very powerful, because then they could build Goku to be more of a battle-hardened formidable foes character, which could be really awesome. Obviously, he has a lot of cool links to work with. For example, the Tech Gods. I actually didn't even think about that, but if you look at his link set, right? Obviously, he's linked with a lot of cool characters. The Tech Gods get 5 of the links, right? If we look at the 5 links, right, you know, they're getting things like Kamehameha, Super Saiyan, Warrior Gods, Prepare for Battle, Fierce Battle. The one link that's really important for the Tech Gods, other than these links, right? The 2 links that the Tech Gods are missing, one is Legendary Power, which is obviously, like, you know, that's something that, you know, like, the Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku's not going to have that, because he's not an LR. So this could be met by someone else. And I believe the other one I already forgot which one's missing. I think it's Godly Power, perhaps. But yeah, Godly Power is missing. So Godly Power, if we look at the difference there, Godly Power is going to be able to give a bit more attack boost. But other than that, you know, Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku, if it gets a Super EZA, he is going to be a very powerful, very awesome unit. So I'm excited for that. You know, Tech Kill and Caulifla, I actually had a friend of mine talk to me about this, so shout out to Chris Weiss, of course, because Chris was talking about it with me earlier. But they actually stack attack and defense. So if they get an EZA, make them greatly raise attack and defense, all of a sudden, this becomes maybe one of your go-tos for something like, I don't know, Festival of Battles? Maybe? I don't know. I'm just saying, this could be a very fun celebration. Now, this is what I want to kind of say, because I want to kind of start to wrap up the vid here. We already talked about the leaks and everything, what's going to be happening, all this sort of stuff. Well, first of all, before I talk about what I want to say, let me go ahead and say this. Dokkan, you need to lock the fuck in. You really need to get your stuff together, because you've already screwed up on not giving us the information before the leakers did. So that's on you. Now, I understand some people hate leaks. It is what it is. The people who don't like leakers, it is what it is. They already done their thing. If it wasn't for Dokkan waiting this long, like, this maybe would not have happened, right? But Dokkan decided to take their time. It is what it is. Right now, we already got the information on what to look forward to. Dokkan now needs to focus on making sure to handle their side of things and make sure that this celebration is a banger, because apart from the 10th anniversary to kick off the year and everything, a lot of people have not liked this year. Diamond Vegeta was so hyped, but so disappointing as far as his kit was concerned. Saiyan Day Kid Goku was not hyped really at all, but his kit was amazing. And then, you know, STR Cell, he's kind of hyped, but also his kit is not necessarily that good to what he should be. You know, LR Pikkon is pretty much like one of the few pillars outside of the 10th anniversary that's holding it up. Maybe the only pillar, really, if you want to argue that. But LR Pikkon is doing his thing. Golden Week celebration needs to be awesome. It really needs to be awesome. It's one of the top 5 celebrations in a year, in my opinion. Probably like number 4, and it really needs to like go out in a crazy kind of awesome note. Because if it does not, we may be having conversations about Dokkan 2025 as a collective whole being one of the worst years in Dokkan eventually, even though it has one of the best anniversaries period with the 10th anniversary. It's like a weird dichotomy there, but you know, I really do need Dokkan to tighten up. And I said it in my previous vids, you know, I think one of the biggest issues with Dokkan so far in 2025 is they have not balanced this ability to maintain hype and kit quality. Your kits need to be as good as the hype of the characters, and the hype of the characters needs to match, in my opinion, at least to a good degree, the kit quality of the character. You can't be having Daima Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta be ass in game and yet be one of the most hyped characters in this whole year so far. You can't be having STR Cell, Perfect Form Cell, be a hype character, a well-respected and loved villain for the Dokkan community and for Dokkan fans in general, or Dragon Ball fans, and all of a sudden his kid is not meeting the expectations. You can't be having those moments. You have Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku, you have Hit. These two characters are insanely hype. So if you have these two characters, you know they're hype, a lot of people love them, make sure that they are good. They deserve that. They're a part of a big celebration, they are cool characters, they deserve to be awesome TORs, awesome characters, awesome kits. So really focus on that in my opinion. Obviously do the EZAs and everything. Make some good content. That's what I need Dokkan to focus on. But other than that, I've already kind of talked my piece about that. I've already kind of gotten on Dokkan's case a bit. We talked about the leaks and everything. Honestly, I mean, let me know what you guys think about the whole situation in the comments down below, though, because I think this is going to be where we wrap up the vid. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below, what do you guys think about the whole situation with the leaks and everything? What do you guys think about Dokkan not giving us any information so far? And what do you guys think about the whole idea for Universe 6 versus Universe 7 for the Golden Week celebration? If you guys enjoyed the vid, drop a like down below, show your support, subscribe to the channel, because we are on the road to 1K subs, of course. Thank you all so much for watching, take care, stay blessed, and I will see you all in the next one.